Hello, 10th graders, and welcome to our new PowerPoint lecture. Today, we will start with the new theme of technology. As you all know, this is a very broad topic with many subtopics also. It includes inventions, all the new awesome new things that are being invented, robotics, what's going on, all the improvements that are going on with the robot technology, robots in operating rooms. We also saw robots delivering food for coronavirus patients in hospitals in China so that they would lessen the risk of infection to health workers. Telemedicine, the doctor, for example, if there's a certain outbreak in a remote place in Africa, doctors can use telemedicine, send their expertise and their knowledge online to other doctors living in those remote areas without physically being there. E-learning, what we are doing right this very moment. We're learning online, and this is a blessing. This is an awesome technology that saved us so much, that may have saved this year for us. Without it, the whole process of education would have been totally stopped. Communication, how are we surviving nowadays? Each of us is quarantined in a different part. We are communicating through social media, through different platforms, and we have been communicating through social media for several years now, and it has brought a lot of people together. Biotechnology, another amazing improvement in technology, genetic engineering, going inside the DNA, seeing how things work, altering things, improving things, and space exploration, all those great inventions, the new intricate and very precise telescopes. We can see what's going on inside a black hole, what's going on the surface of Mars, in the moon. All of those are just nothing short of amazing. Technology has really made such a broad improvement, and it's really nothing short of magic. But in general, before we speak of any topic, we need to define it. Okay, technology. What does that term refer to? Technology. Technology, okay. Logy means the study. Okay. Technology technically is applying science and scientific knowledge for improving and facilitating human lives. Okay, so this is the official definition of this, and it's good to write this term or this definition in as a hook in your essay, or as knowledge, background knowledge in your introduction. So name some breakthrough advancements in present-day technology. We talk about robotic surgery in the OR, making intricate and delicate incisions and going inside tiny pieces of the human body to perform miracles, really. Online education, what we're doing right now, again, we're able to pursue our education. We didn't stop this process, this essential process, because of the coronavirus. We actually kept on going. Telemedicine, which I explained before, okay. Transporting your knowledge through online. You don't have to physically be there sometimes. Self-driving cars, which is the topic of our lesson today. Cars that don't need people to drive them. They are driven remotely. Drones, the drones that can take very important pictures, that can go places that the human might not be able to, in order maybe to get some information, for example, when in the case of an earthquake, A rescue team cannot physically go there, but they can send a drone to take pictures, for example. It could save many lives, okay? Maybe they know that there is rubble there, there's a village buried under the rubble, and then they can send a rescue team there as needed. Cloning, this amazing discovery, and people are working on that, and it has some success to a certain extent. Space exploration through precise inventions, the GPS in your car, the GPS on your phone that carries you anywhere you want to go with just a click of a button. It guides you there. So all those are amazing breakthroughs in technology. Now, coming to our lesson, self-driving cars are way in the future. Imagine getting in your car, typing or speaking a location, okay, into your vehicle's interface, then letting it drive you to your destination while you read a book, surf the web, or nap. Self-driving cars, the stuff of science fiction. Really, some of those new inventions are the stuff of science fiction. Truly unbelievable. Since the first roads were paved are coming, and they're going to radically change what it's like to get from point A to point B. Okay? Now, read the below article in which the writer highlights the invention of autonomous vehicles, a new recent technology which will dramatically change the future of mobility. Mobility means movement. When you are through with the reading, answer the questions that follow. Let's come back to autonomous. Those vehicles are autonomous. Now, whenever you see the prefix auto, it means self, okay? So they are self-driven. They don't need an operator or a driver. So let's begin reading paragraph 1. Ford and other companies say the industry overestimated the arrival of autonomous vehicles, which still struggle to anticipate what other drivers and pedestrians will do. Pedestrians, people who walk, okay? A year ago, Detroit and Silicon Valley had visions of putting thousands of self-driving taxis on the road in 2019. Ushering in an age of driverless cars. Most of those cars have yet to arrive, and it is likely to be years before they do. The two automakers plan to use autonomous vehicle technology from a Pittsburgh startup, Argo AI, artificial intelligence, in ride-sharing services in a few urban zones as early as 2021. But Argo's chief executive, Brian Salesky, said the industry's promise of creating driverless cars that could go anywhere was way in the future. He and others attribute the delay to something as obvious as it is stubborn human behavior. Okay, moving on. Paragraph 3. Researchers at Argo say the cars they are testing in Pittsburgh and Miami have to navigate unexpected situations every day. Recently, one of the company's cars encountered a bicyclist riding the wrong way down a busy street between other vehicles. So here, this is an example of human error or bad human behavior. Yet this is a machine and it's not equipped to deal with that. It will go through that person and kill him or her. Another Argo test car came across a street sweeper that suddenly turned a giant circle in an intersection. It touched all four corners and crossing lanes of traffic that had the green light. Paragraph 4. Mr. Salesky said Argo and many competitors had developed about 80% of the technology needed to put self-driving cars into routine use. The radar, cameras, and other sensors can identify objects far down roads and highways. But the remaining 20% will be much more difficult, those little details, such as including developing software that can reliably anticipate what other drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists are going to do, i.e. human behavior. A year ago, many industry executives exuded much greater certainty. They thought that their engineers had solved the most vexing technical problems. They assured that self-driving cars would be shuttling people around town in at least several cities by sometime this year. Captivated by the notion of disrupting the transportation system, deep-pocketed investors rushed to get a piece of the action. Paragraph 6. There was this incredible optimism, said Sam Abulsamid, an analyst at Navigant Research. Companies thought this was a very straightforward problem. You throw in some sensors and artificial intelligence and it would be easy to do. Paragraph 7. The industry's unbridled confidence has been dented when Uber tested a self-driving car. It hit and killed a woman walking a bicycle across a street last year in Tempe, Arzes. The Tempe police department reported that safety driver was at the wheel of the vehicle but was watching a TV show on her phone just before the crash. Guys, again. Okay, so they're testing this driving car, but so this woman driving the Uber car was so relaxed and she was okay. She didn't even take care that there was a woman driving her bicycle, okay, and so it hit her and she got killed. Since that fatality or death, almost everybody has reset their expectations, so they lowered their expectations a little. Mr. Abulsamid said, "It was believed to be the first pedestrian death involving a self-driving vehicle. Elsewhere in the United States, 3 Tesla drivers have died in crashes that occurred while the company's autopilot driver assistance system was engaged. Both it and the drivers failed to detect and react to hazards." Okay, so the driver may be sitting there. It is a self-driving vehicle. So what the driver did here in those disasters was that they were totally relaxed and weren't taking care. So disasters happened. Companies like Waymo and GM, General Motors, now say they still expect to roll out thousands of self-driving cars, but they are much more reluctant to say when that will happen. So apparently, guys, this is going to take some more time. Paragraph 9. China, which has the world's largest auto market and is investing heavily in electric vehicles, is trailing in development of self-driving cars, analysts say. The country allows automakers to test such vehicles on public roads in only a handful of cities. China, Paragraph 10. Tesla and its chief executive Elon Musk are nearly alone in predicting widespread use of self-driving cars within the next year. In April, Mr. Musk said Tesla would have as many as 1 million autonomous robot taxis. Okay, by the end of 2020. So I'm not sure if this is still plausible at the moment. Tesla believes its new self-driving system based on a computer chip it designed and the data it gathers. Now on the road, Tesla cars will enable the company to start offering fully autonomous driving next year. But many experts are very skeptical that Tesla can pull that off. So it is still doubtful to many. Paragraph 11. Mr. Selesky said it was relatively easy to enable a car to see and identify obstacles on the road. It happens with the help of radar, cameras, and LiDAR, a kind of radar that uses lasers as well as the software and computing power to process images and data. It's much more challenging to prepare self-driving cars for unusual circumstances. If pedestrians are crossing the road when cars have the green light, the cars will make illegal turns. Researchers call these corner cases, although in city traffic they occur often. If you're out driving 20 hours a day, you have a lot of opportunities to see these things, Mr. Selesky said. Paragraph 12. Some companies argue that the way to get more self-driving vehicles on the road is by using them in controlled settings and situations. May Mobility operates autonomous shuttles in Detroit, Providence, Rhode Island, and Columbus, Ohio. She added that these are not minivans or full-size cars, but 6-passenger golf carts. They travel short, defined routes at no more than 25 miles an hour. So here, guys, they're working on the speed. It's not very fast. In many cases, they provide public transportation where none is available. Paragraph 13, a vehicle that needs to go at higher speeds will need more expensive, more exotic sensors, okay, to detect things, said Alison Malik, the company's chief operating officer. Using a low-speed vehicle makes the task of operating an autonomous vehicle easier, so we can use what works in technology today. Paragraph 14. Once the masses adopt a fully connected self-driving car, the impact of how we live and work may be as transforming as the evolution from horse and buggy to a motorized vehicle. Again, guys, we say things are impossible, but then we did transform from horse and carriage or horse and buggy to a motorized vehicle. So as said, whatever you can imagine is possible in technology. Consider the benefits. The elderly, visually impaired, and physically challenged being fully mobile, a doctor assessing X-rays on the dashboard's touch screen and delivering pre-operation instructions en route, meaning on the way to the hospital, telemedicine, parents sending their children to and from school or a dog to the vet, all enabled by vehicles able to drive themselves. Look at those amazing benefits of self-driving cars. Finally, Ms. Malik said she believed it would take years and perhaps even a decade, 10 more years or more, to develop driverless cars that could travel anywhere, anytime. Our focus is how we can use the technology today, she said. We realize that today we have to start somewhere. So this article was from the New York Times by Neil Baudet, a very recent article, July 17, 2019. Okay. Let's start with our first set of questions, the comprehension questions. Answer each of the following in 1 to 4 sentences of your own. Based on paragraph 2, state the obstacle that attributes to the delay of a self-driving car. We talked about that. Okay. Stubborn human behavior. We talked about the several cases where human behavior led to catastrophes. So based on paragraph 2, the main obstacle that leads to the delay of the self-driving car is the human attitude or human behavior. Moving on. Answer to question number 2. The radar and cameras have a significant role in the performance of self-driving cars. Both can help the autonomous vehicle to detect and identify the object on the street, whether far down or highways ones. Number 3, based on paragraph 4, what is the main challenge that competitors are still facing? The challenge is that competitors are still facing a significant challenge. They want to know how to comprise a well-developed software that can undoubtedly predict what other motorists, walkers, and bicyclists are going to do. Again, human behavior, okay? Okay. So, unpredictable human behavior. Refer to paragraph 7 to show what happened when a self-driving car was tested. It hit and killed a woman walking a bicycle across the street last year in Tempe, Aris. Why? Okay, the Uber driver was doing something else, you know. Okay, although the car was self-driven, the driver inside should have been more aware because it's still a test driving car. So that put off self-driving cars a lot back and it lowered the expectations. Okay. During the test, it hit and killed a woman who was having a ride on a bicycle in Tempe, Aris, while its driver was busy watching TV, a TV show on her mobile. Question number 5, based on paragraph 11, what does the writer mean by corner cases? Corner cases, you know, those little details that happen. If pedestrians are crossing the road when cars have the green light, the cars will make illegal turns. Okay, so those are corner cases, okay? But they occur often. You know, humans break the rules. What will this car do? This car doesn't know how to break the rules. It's programmed in a certain way, and that's what it's gonna do. It cannot adapt to human behavior. So this is the corner case, or the little detail that they need to work on. Okay, unexpected corner cases are related to unexpected situations which self-driving cars can encounter. Okay, for instance, we gave an example here. The cars can't make a quick decision to change the route like a human to avoid having an accident and hitting the pedestrians. Now, in reference to paragraph 12, state the suggestion offered by some companies to put the self-driving car in routine use. Okay, what suggestion do they offer? Okay, on the road, control settings and situations. So, putting certain restrictions on the use of self-driving cars, such as determining the setting situation. Such vehicles couldn't travel anywhere or at any time. Instead, they can go for a short time and specific routes. Okay. Autonomous vehicles are going to change the world dramatically. First, these vehicles will help the elderly. Okay, what are their advantages? Again, they will help the elderly, the incapacitated, meaning the disabled, okay, to move comfortably without other assistance. Second, self-driving cars will enable doctors to assess x-rays pre-operation, while when you call the doctor and he needs like half an hour to arrive at the ER, he will send, okay, the x-rays through his car or whatever, so that they can start prepping the patient. Okay, it can save time and of course lives. Now, based on paragraph 15, what conclusion can be drawn about the future use of self-driving a car? Okay, Ms. Malik said she believed it would take years and perhaps even a decade or more to develop driverless cars that could travel anywhere or anytime. She is focusing on how the technology can be used today. So what can you draw? What conclusion? We can conclude that future mobility is still in progress. It's not there yet. We need more time until it's going to be ready and put in use without any restrictions concerning distance and time. One can benefit from what we have now until we'll look back in history and say, wow, that was terrible. Do you remember when people used to commute for 45 minutes each day or each way they go? Okay. Question number 9 in the comprehension section. Based on the indicated paragraphs, what does each of the following pronouns refer to? They in paragraph 5 refers to researchers. You in that paragraph refers to the drivers of cars. They refers to companies like Waymo and General Motors. Our refers to Alison Malik, the company's chief operating officer, and her team. Okay, you need to write this please in complete sentences. Now, coming to the organizational skills questions. What purpose does the type of introduction used in the article, what purpose does it serve? Okay, this is the introduction. I displayed it for you. Ford and other companies say the industry overestimated the arrival of autonomous vehicles, which still struggle to anticipate what other drivers and pedestrians will do. A year ago, Detroit and Silicon Valley had visions of putting thousands of self-driving taxis on the road in 2019, ushering an age. So, what purpose does this type of introduction serve? The introductory paragraph has many purposes. By the way, I did not ask you for the type, I just asked you for the purposes. So please read the question carefully. First, it introduces the main idea of the text, which is the invention of autonomous vehicles that might dramatically change the future of mobility. Second, it captures the reader's attention by presenting facts about Ford and other companies that overestimated the arrival of autonomous vehicles. So we feel eager to continue reading to know when these vehicles are going to be put in use. Finally, it provides background knowledge about the self-driving cars and how that may be placed on a road in 2019, ushering in an age of driverless cars. Okay, of course you can write that in your own way. You might have different thoughts and different ideas, and they could be equally plausible. Now, the second organizational question is, how are paragraphs 2 and 3 thematically related? So we're looking at the relation between this and this. The two automakers plan to use autonomous vehicles. Okay. Argo's chief executive said the industry's promise of creating driverless cars that could go anywhere was way in the future. He and others attribute the delay to the human stubbornness or human behavior. Now, researchers at Argo say the cars they are testing in Pittsburgh and Miami have to navigate unexpected situations. So you're presenting an idea here or a problem, and you're presenting a solution. Or this is how they're thematically related. Here they're elaborating and they're presenting ways in which to deal with this, okay? Paragraph 2 and 3 are thematically related as an idea addition. In paragraph 2, the writer introduces the idea of driverless cars that could go anywhere and attribute the delay to human behavior. Then in paragraph 3, he adds that the arrival of these autonomous vehicles will be delayed due to several flaws which appear while testing these cars. So they're adding more to this issue, which is delaying the introduction of those cars in the market. Identify the writer's tone in paragraph 6. How does it change in paragraph 7? Let's take a look at paragraph 6. There was this incredible optimism. Okay, we already have a tone there. Said Sam Abu Samid, an analyst at Navigant Research. Companies thought this was very straightforward. You throw in some sensors, artificial intelligence, and it would be easy. So this was confident, optimistic, hopeful. Now, paragraph 7, the industry's unbridled confidence has been dented. Okay, goes down. It hit, okay, this Uber driver, this Uber car, self-driven car, hit and killed a woman. The Tampa police reported that safety driver was at the level of the vehicle, etc. So, how do the tones change? From optimistic and hopeful to what? The writer's tone in paragraph 6 seems to be optimistic. The writer states that the owners of companies were hopeful about the future of driverless cars. There was this incredible optimism. You need to, after you give me the tone, you need to give me examples, phrases, or words that led you to choose this tone. And it would be easy to do. However, in paragraph 7, the tone shifts to be pessimistic. The industry's unbridled confidence has been dented. The companies are no longer able to trust the driverless car after it hit and killed a woman while being tested. What pattern of organization does the writer use in paragraph 7? Let's see. The industry's unbridled confidence has been dented when Uber tested a self-driving car. It hit and killed a woman walking a bicycle across the street. Okay, the Temple Department reported that was at the wheel. So what pattern of organization do you think this is? The pattern of organization in paragraph 7 is cause-effect. The writer states that while testing the autonomous vehicles, it hit and killed a woman. As a result, the industry's unbridled confidence has been dented as a result. Okay, they are no longer able to trust these cars as before. Now, how does the writer achieve credibility and authenticity in the text? We went through those several times. Of course, you need statistics, results of studies, etc. You need experts' opinions, statements of authority, and 3 real-life examples, real dates, real names, etc. So, to give his writing a great touch of authenticity and to achieve credibility and accuracy, the writer used different types of evidence. To elaborate, he used facts such as real names, Waymo and 3M, Tesla, Ford, real places, China, Detroit, Columbus, and specific dates. Okay, He also used quotations by experts. If you have a lot of opportunities to see these things. Mr. Zaleski said, A Vehicle That Needs to Go, More Exotic Sensors by Alison Malik. Okay, so all of those experts' quotes, experts' opinions, real places, real names, real date, help a writer achieve authenticity and credibility and accuracy. You can also say objectivity. Now, identify two types of audience the writer possibly addresses. This is a sample answer. You might have a different one. A considerable number of readers might be interested in reading the above text. Please don't say general reader. A first audience may be generalists, journalists who might find that this topic is controversial and attractive to the public, so they would like to highlight the new invention of the driverless car. A second audience might be investors and owners of big car companies such as Ford, Toyota, Honda, etc. They who might rush to get a piece of the action and benefit from this new invention. Okay. Write a one-sentence summary for paragraph 11. Remember, you have to read it very well. One sentence, you have to begin with a citation. Okay, here talking about what Mr. Zaleski said. It was relatively easy to enable a car to see and identify obstacles on the road. It happens with the help of radar, cameras, and LiDAR, a kind of radar that uses lasers, as well as the software and computing power to process images and data. It's much more challenging to prepare self-driving cars for unusual circumstances. If pedestrians are crossing the road when cars have the green light, the cars will make illegal turns, and you know that that is not possible. Researchers call these corner cases. So it's talking about the little details that is hindering this invention. Okay, so in paragraph 14, our citation, in paragraph 14 of the text entitled Self-Driving Cars Are Way in the Future, meaning they're not happening now, the author states that once autonomous cars are fully integrated within our transport systems, okay, the benefits to society will be vast once they are integrated. But of course, at the end of the paragraph, he was talking how that is at the moment not possible. Now let's take a look at this table and analyze it. The table below shows the result of polls conducted by Morning Consult. This is like a polling company to know whether American people consider self-driving cars as more or less safe than vehicles driven by humans. Self-driving cars are more or less safe than vehicles driven by humans. Safer, 27% consider them safer. 8% as safe as, 50% less safe, so this is the biggest number here, and 15% don't know whether or not they're safer. So this is the main point here. What do the percentages indicate about the American people's attitude towards the self-driving car? Of course, you have 3 sections, 1, okay, 2, 3. Your topic sentence, your analysis of numbers, and the conclusion you draw. This is taken directly from the title of the chart. The table shows the results of polls conducted by Morning Consult to know whether American people consider self-driving cars more or less safe than vehicles driven by humans. Now, we noticed that 50% of the people in the poll consider self-driven cars less safe than cars driven by people. 27% consider them safer than vehicles driven by people. 15% don't know. And 8% consider them as safe as vehicles driven by people. So what do we conclude? We have to write, thus we conclude that people generally don't think of self-driving cars or self-driving vehicles as safe, since only 27% of those in the poll said that they were safer than vehicles driven by people, and so this technology needs some time before it's accepted by people. And this was generally what the text was talking about. Okay, remember, 3 parts to this sort of question. Extract, you have to read each extract and take it back where it belongs after having written the main idea of each paragraph next to it to make your job easier. Extract A, one leading Chinese company working on autonomous technology, Baidu, is doing much of its research at a lab in Silicon Valley. Extract B, professionals such as lawyers enhancing productivity by working during the chokehold commute are enabled by vehicles able to drive themselves too. This is where they're talking about the advantages to some groups of people. So extract A is the correct ending of paragraph 9, complete sentence. Extract B is the correct ending of paragraph 14. Moving on. Vocabulary in context. Use contextual clues to figure out the meaning of each word in the text below. In the box below, then fill in the blanks with the correct words to complete the sentences that follow. Autonomous, we already talked about that, working on its own. Stubborn, okay, hard-headed. Captivated, attracted. Artificial, the opposite of natural. Skeptical, doubtful. If you go back to the paragraphs, you're able to figure out the meanings of those words if you don't already know them. Now, teachers aim to help children become what kind of learners? Autonomous, depend on themselves, work on their own. The schoolboys were, by the adventures of the heroes in the animated cartoon, of course, captivated. Some researchers are, however, of course, this is a context clue, that this could be enough to affect large waves in the open ocean, you know. Researchers, however, skeptical, doubtful, not sure. He was made famous for his resistance, context clue, and his refusal to accept defeat, stubborn. Okay? Part F. Synonyms. Pick out from paragraphs 5 and 8 words that have the following meanings. Hikers and walkers. Okay, when you navigate those paragraphs, you find the word pedestrian. Perceive and recognize. Annoying, deactivating. Okay? Okay, now pick out from paragraphs 5 and 8 words that have the following meanings. Hikers, walkers, people on their feet. Pedestrians, and also whenever you see a PED, okay, not petty, PED only, as a prefix in a word, it has to do with feet, okay, walkers. Perceive, recognize, detect. Annoying, vexing. Deactivating means disrupting. Refer to paragraphs 2, 6, and 13 to find an antonym for each of the following words. Willing, natural, indigenous, and cheap. Willing, if you're willing to do something, the opposite of that, you're reluctant, you're hesitant. Natural, obviously, artificial, they're all in the text. Indigenous, natural to a certain place. Exotic, cheap, of course, expensive, they're all in the respective paragraphs. Okay? So this is it for our lesson today. It's very important. Please go through it thoroughly because it is included on your next quiz.